So, hi everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. And welcome to today's presentation on the power of network. Networking isn't just about exchanging business cards or connecting on LinkedIn. It's about building meaningful relationships that can drive your personal and professional growth. So, I'll start off by introducing myself. Hi, I'm Havana, and I trained as an actor and attended drama school for 5 years. So I was deeply invested in the acting career. I attended drama school in London at the age of 16, and I loved it. However, unfortunately, my time was cut short after we ended up closing final year performances early because of COVID-19. Going through drama school during the pandemic was particularly challenging, to say the least, but through that, I did end up graduating from Manchester School of Theatre in 2023. Despite my love for acting and the entertainment industry, I found myself falling out of love with the lifestyle it entailed. Every day I felt anxious while preparing for auditions, and the inconsistent salary was causing a stress for my mental and physical state, and my growing fondness for Manchester only complicated matters. Unfortunately, as creative as Manchester is, it doesn't offer the same opportunities for performing as cities like London or New York. This realization put me in a difficult situation. I wanted to stay in Manchester, but I knew it meant sacrificing a cherished dream of mine. I took up roles in the hospitality space just to be able to pay bills and sustain my lifestyle in Manchester, but I absolutely hated it. After months of struggling in hospitality roles and feeling overwhelmed by the direction my life was taking, I knew I needed to change. I took matters into my own hands and started my own PA business, working remotely, and I managed clients from bankers to entrepreneurs. And one thing that stuck out was I found joy in managing clients' social media accounts, which sparked my interest in digital marketing. Another aspect worth mentioning about me is that due to my experience in entertainment, I developed a strong fascination with social media. From the beginning, I was quite familiar with Dominic McGregor's name. Throughout my drama school experience, I had heard about Dominic's course called Fearless Academy, now rebranded as Basecamp. And although my mum encouraged me to do the course, unfortunately, the timing never seemed right. But when I started my own PA agency, I saw it as the perfect opportunity to finally pursue this interest. So I eagerly joined Basecamp, immersing myself into digital marketing. That's right, I'm one of you. Through Basecamp, I gained valuable insights into the digital marketing industry, expanding my skill set and knowledge in ways I had never imagined. This journey has been transformative, reaffirming my beliefs in the power of adaptation and the endless possibilities that arise when we embrace change. I fell in love with digital marketing through the course and decided it was something I wanted to do full-time instead of running a PA agency. It offered me stability and creativity that I was seeking through my acting career, and the two combined made me so excited. I now work at the Hut Group, which is an e-commerce company based in Manchester that owns sites such as Look Fantastic and My Protein. I work on third-party brand partnerships, so what that means is I create collaborations with any brand that the Hut Group has nothing to do with. I get to speak to influencers and brands which I've loved since a kid that just feel like a dream to be involved with. For example, I'm currently working with Wild Deodorant. I'm also part of the Prevent Breast Cancer 100 Club, where I head up the relationship between THG and Prevent Breast Cancer to raise money for their charity, a charity that is dear to my heart, as well as being a member of the Empowering Women Network in Manchester, which supports women in business grow and find support. And today I'm going to be talking to you about how networking got me this role. So first of all, what is networking? Networking is simply about building and nurturing relationships for mutual benefit. It's about forming connections with people who can offer support, guidance, and opportunities as we navigate our careers. Why is networking so important? Well, for starters, networking expands our circle of contacts, exposing us to a wider range of opportunities that we might not have otherwise been aware of. Through networking, we gain access to job openings, projects, collaborations, and other avenues for professional growth and development. By connecting with individuals from different backgrounds, industries, and areas of expertise, we increase our chances of discovering new opportunities that align with our goals and aspirations. Networking also enhances our visibility within our industries or communities, by increasing our presence and establishing our reputation as reliable, knowledgeable professionals. By actively participating in networking events, industry conferences, and online communities, we become more recognizable and memorable to others in our field. A positive reputation built through networking can often open doors to new opportunities, attract potential clients or employers, and solidify our credibility as experts in our respective fields. A strong network can also serve as a support system during challenging times, offering encouragement, advice, and emotional support when needed. I'm going to take you through some people who are successful, who've used networking as a way to leverage jobs and connections, just so you guys can see how networking has completely impacted and elevated their career. First one up is Kim Wathel. Kim is a marketer, and only 2 years ago, she got suddenly made redundant and found herself in a really tight spot that affected her mental health terribly. She claims it was a change in her mindset that got her to do what she did next. So after a cry, she posted a vlog on LinkedIn, calling out for her connections to help her and find a new job. It got over 1 million impressions, 10,000 likes, and over 2,000 comments and reposts. From this post, Anna Maxwell, the CEO of a pharmaceutical brand, hired her on a first interview. Why? Because of the vulnerability and strength she had shown by asking for help and using her network to leverage her own power over that situation. Now she is brand manager of the same company. I believe you guys will meet or should have met Emily. Emily will talk about her own story a lot, so I won't go into too much detail, but I just wanted to point out that she humbly boasts 23K on LinkedIn, as well as securing a job at Fearless because of her LinkedIn presence. She is the true definition of how LinkedIn could impact your lives. Izzy Pryor is a personal brand specialist, and she got lucky. I won't sugarcoat it. For most people, this probably wouldn't happen. Her first post saw 500,000 views, 6,000 likes, 500 profile views, and 1,000 new followers. And she looks back on her years and knows how lucky she is. But it's what she did next that truly made her successful. She created a strategy on LinkedIn which allowed her to post content as if it was any other social platform. By having a raw and unique voice that brought value and entertainment on LinkedIn, she took the app by storm. And 3 years later, she is now a LinkedIn top voice, has 70,000 followers, and owns her own personal branding agency. And then there's little old me. I'd like to say that I'm the realist example. I'm trying to grow my profile, but still have under 1,000 followers and haven't seen any huge viral posts. But I still got my job through LinkedIn and networking. And here's how. So I started a course called Basecamp. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but I started to really want to work for THG. So I applied. And as I went through the application process, I fell more and more in love with the role, and I really wanted it. And I got to the final stage. So I did what Basecamp told me to do. And I checked my LinkedIn connections with the head of department that was taking my final interview. And there it was, that mutual connection. The Dan on this call right now. I didn't think anything of it, but I thought, why not ask Dan if he knows this manager? Turns out, not only does Dan know this man, he used to work for him. Dan supported me throughout the process, and he and Georgia sent letters of recommendations to THG. From there on, I knew I was a shoo-in. And lo and behold, I got offered the job on the spot, fast-tracked into the company, and the rest is history. So if we know that networking is so important, how do we go about building our networking platforms? I know it can be extremely scary to start. It starts with identifying our goals and understanding what we hope to achieve through networking. Then we can leverage our existing connections, attend industry events, and utilize online platforms to expand our reach. LinkedIn is a powerful platform specifically designed to help professionals build and expand their networks. LinkedIn serves as your professional online presence. By creating a detailed profile highlighting your skills, experience, and accomplishments, you present yourself effectively to potential connections. A well-crafted profile not only showcases your expertise, but also makes you more appealing to others seeking professionals in your field. Industry events play a crucial role in networking and professional development. These events bring together professionals from specific industries or niches, providing opportunities for networking, learning, and collaboration. Attend conferences, workshops, and seminars outside your immediate industry to broaden your network and gain fresh perspectives. Interacting with professionals from diverse backgrounds can spark new ideas, collaborations, and opportunities outside your circle. You can also tap into your alumni networks from school, university, or previous workplaces. Alumni associations often host networking events, mentorship programs, and online communities. You can connect with former classmates or colleagues who may offer valuable insight and opportunities. You can also engage in volunteer work or community service relating to your industries or interests. Volunteering for events, projects, or causes allows you to meet people who share your values and passions, whilst also giving back to the community. Networking is extremely scary, I know. I still walk into a room now and get scared people are judging me if I'm worthy to be in that room or not. But here are some things that can help us overcome these challenges. One of the main things people face is imposter syndrome, but recognize that feeling like an imposter is common. That's why the term imposter syndrome exists. And this can be brought out especially when networking with professionals who seem more experienced or accomplished. Remember that everyone has their own journey and insecurities, and focus on the value you bring to the table. Even when you feel like you have nothing to offer, trust me, you do. Whether it's simply assisting in administration, everyone has to learn and start somewhere. The first few weeks of my job, I was filling out Excel spreadsheets because a member of our team just left and there was so much catching up to do. And now I'm on track to own my own channel of the company, which I will run myself. If you told me that when I first started, I wouldn't have believed you. And it's because of my dedication, even with the mundane tasks, that I was offered this opportunity. Also remember, no matter who you are speaking to, they're human too. And that's probably the most important thing you can ever tell yourself. If you struggle knowing where to start creating a community, and you feel like you have a small circle, then remember you have this course. You are already ahead. Sometimes we can get ourselves down, especially at a time where so much nepotism, comparison, and pressure is put on us to have a career at the age of 21 because we compare ourselves to the likes of influencers. We lose sight of what we do have. And this course is so well connected and you can open so many doors from it. Trust me, because I did. Alongside Basecamp, don't be afraid to go to events and reach to more people at even things like fundraisers. I became a member of networks because of my fundraising efforts with Prevent Breast Cancer. So never underestimate anything. I also always say, work with what you've got. As I've said, utilize the resources and opportunities you have available to you, like the Basecamp course. But anyone can get on social media. Social media platforms offer accessible tools for networking and connecting with professionals in your industry. Don't underestimate the power of sending a direct message to initiate conversations and expand your network. If I hadn't sent Dan a message about the mutual connection he had, I may never have got this job. So 3 things to take away are, please get online. It really is the best tool to meet and show off your work. It's not about how many followers you have, it's about who is seeing you and what you can offer them and they can offer you. Say yes to more. A free event, a coffee with someone off this course, a fundraising event. You never know how these things will impact your life. And also, it's fun and gets you out of your comfort zone. No one reached the finish line of the London Marathon without being a little bit uncomfortable. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Send a DM, ask for help, anything. When you ask questions, people remember you and want to help. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Havana. Interestingly, so the guy that I messaged 4 years ago, he moved company from the Hook Group over to Current Body, and I messaged him about a role there, and he got me a role in that. He's kind of helped us both out, hasn't he, Sam?
No, yeah, he's great. He's so funny.
So the power of networking is a massive one. Well, we'll open this up for some questions from the chat. Just a quick one, firstly from my side, because I know that initial fear is very difficult to overcome. So again, from your side, have you got like any tips that you had when you were approached those situations? How did you become that?
I think I took the pressure off myself a lot. So I started going to these events with a friend of mine. And every time we would go to one, I just put no pressure on myself to actually even speak to anyone in the first few. It was just about actually getting myself to go and be in the room. And even if I didn't speak to anybody, that was okay because I literally just got myself there. And then kind of building on that. So then the next one, maybe it would be, okay, try and talk to like two people, even if it's just about something like random. And then kind of from that, you build confidence and people start recognizing your face and coming up to me like, oh, weren't you at the last one? And things like that. It's literally just about not putting any pressure on yourself to go in and make 50 new connections and suddenly have like 3 job offers, because it doesn't work like that. It's just about getting yourself out there in the first place, I think.
Yeah, amazing. And I guess because you have quite a lot going on in general now, don't you? You're not just
Yeah.
always picking up other areas. Do you find
Mm.
that helps you as well because you're being introduced to a wider range of people?
Oh yeah, definitely. As soon as you start, it just builds and builds and builds. And you start, once you have one connection, they can introduce you to another person, and then it all kind of like can be a full circle moment. And that's why I think, especially if you're on this course, it's such a good place to start because there's already so many people from this course that you can connect with. I mean, all of the companies that Basecamp is like affiliated and associated with, that all of those names are being used everywhere, especially up north. So um, it really is such a good course to kind of start your networking journey.
Perfect. I'll open up to the group, so feel free, guys, to raise your hand if you have a question. The last thing I was going to mention was when I first joined the Hook group, I had the same thing, Havana, where I joined in as one role, and then straight away, one of the ladies in the team went on maternity leave, and the other one handed in her notice. So I had to kind of just jump in the deep end, and that's scary, but you learn a lot, don't you? When you just have to
Yeah.
look it all in.
Yeah, you do. You learn the most. And it's crazy when I look back on when I started, how little I actually knew. And now it's like I kind of do a personal project where I write down like things that I'm actually doing throughout my day now. And it's like the fact that the checklist has just changed so much. It makes me kind of cope with that imposter syndrome as well, because I start to realize that because I'm constantly improving my skills, I never actually necessarily notice a difference and never kind of like look back like, oh, now this is what I have so much more to offer. And that kind of can help with your imposter syndrome as well, just realizing like how much you've improved and what you've learned even from like the beginning of this course. If you make like a note of what you've actually learned, it can help you feel so much better.
Amazing. I think we've got Helen first with her hand raised, and then Tyler just afterwards.
Hi, Havana. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Okay.
I just had a quick question regarding networking. How how do you think is the best way to go about finding networking events? Because I've done stuff like sort of going on Eventbrite and just searching, but I find that a lot of the time they're either not in London or you have to pay for it, or it's just sort of like not really what I'm looking for essentially. So do you have any sort of tips on best ways to find that?
Yeah. I've kind of struggled with similar things, to be honest. I think for me, it's kind of like just I did a lot of research and I found like sort of 3 main ones in Manchester, because that's where I'm based, that luckily are free and things like that. And they're quite like what I want to go to and things like that. But I think kind of just, even if it's not necessarily related to what you're looking for, even just going to the ones that have one aspect that you're interested in can actually really, really help, because you never know who else is attending those events and who might be there just to do research on that one aspect. But finding networking events can be really difficult. There's so much like online networking events that are easier and that you don't have to pay for, that you can go on to and join, and then they have real life networking events that they tell you about and things like that. It's kind of like once you find one, your calendar of events will start to grow, if that makes sense.
Got you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Just one on the back of that as well. I found LinkedIn is brilliant for finding events, and you might not get them straight away, especially if you don't have a presence on LinkedIn. But the more you connect with the right people in the industry you're going for, the more you'll see these ones popping up. And it could even be, again, putting yourself out of your comfort zone and doing a post saying, based in London, would love to go to a few more marketing events. Anyone got any suggestions? And then hopefully,
Definitely.
So is it kind of like working the algorithm essentially? You know, the more you sort of like engage with it and say, you know, I'm looking for marketing, blah, blah, the more it's going to come at you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Nice perspective. Thank you, guys.
I think Tyler, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I was actually just intrigued into sort of, I guess, where you're at in your journey now. So it's like, are you still quite broad with how you're doing